morning and good afternoon. I just like to start off with sharing just a little bit about my background. I know that a lot of you are here thinking about why you might want to join the program and potentially career transitions afterwards. In a few minutes, I would like to hear from anybody that might want to share why you're thinking about enrolling in the program. Some years back, I was in a similar position as you, trying to decide what I wanted to do for my career in transition and if Bauman College was the place for me. So I am an alumni from the program. I started my career, my background is in finance and accounting. So out of college, I worked in corporate finance. And then after that, I started my own accounting business that I had for 10 years. And at the last few years of that, I kind of started to get a little burnt out with accounting and just started to explore what other interests I had. And a lot of my personal time was being spent in the health and nutrition field. And so I started looking into what types of programs and opportunities there were. I had already gone through kind of the traditional route of obtaining my bachelor's and master's degree. And so I was intrigued by Bauman because I knew that I can get the training and start working a little more quickly in the field rather than going back to a traditional 4-year or plus program. So that was something that was important to me. As I had other friends and things like that that also helped me to narrow it down and make the decision. I attended an open house, which is kind of similar to some of the virtual meetings now that you're having. So once I decided to enroll, I was still running my accounting business. So still juggling a lot, as I'm sure a lot of you are also thinking of how you're going to have the time. I did decide to stop taking on new clients in the accounting business. So I kind of started to downshift that business by just maintaining what I had, not taking on new clients, and then trying to use whatever extra time I had for volunteering or internships or part-time work in the nutrition world to start to get experience. And that was I was probably a few months into the program once I started doing that. So as I was going through the program, like I mentioned, I was also kind of volunteering and finding out other things, attending just webinars and workshops and things like that to determine what specifically in nutrition I'd be interested in pursuing after graduation. I was really intrigued with chronic diseases and just how much nutrition and wellness could help with that, which I learned so much of that actually going through the program. But through that experience, it helped me to gain more confidence, more experience, build relationships in this industry where I did not have a lot of connections, or it was pretty foreign to me still. So through doing that, through completing the program, through working part-time, within 2 years of graduating, I was able to have full-time employment working as the regional director of community health for the YMCA of the East Bay. When I first went into the program, I love entrepreneurship, so I didn't plan on working somewhere full-time. But the position was just really in alignment with what my goals were professionally. And so throughout the business course, which, like I said, I'm the mentor for that course, I talk a lot about having a growth mindset and just being open to what the possibilities are, whether you're planning to be an entrepreneur, if you're planning to seek employment, if you're going to do a hybrid of both. So I'll talk a bit about that through the presentation. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so I'll kind of go back and forth from reading a little bit from the slides and just talking through it. So this one talks about what specifically is a nutrition consultant. Our role as NCs are to help with promoting health and wellness, specifically through optimal nutrition and lifestyle. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. The key role is to educate, inspire, and empower clients. Now, for you, clients can mean a variety of things. It could be working with a company as an employee or contractor, helping uplift and educate the communities that you're a part of, partnering with health practitioners. So there are many different ways in which you can actually do this work. But the goal is to help people to make healthy food choices and then implement and maintain healthy habits. So as that last bullet point indicates, the role is especially important in today's world, as a lot of you shared today. So as a society, we have a ton of access to information through the internet, social media, through books. So the information is there, but really being able to know how to apply it, to know what is substantial and worthwhile information versus something that is a trend, knowing how to take that information and then helping clients to apply it for their particular lifestyle, giving them the guidance and accountability to actually, and sometimes, some ways, hold their hand through the process so that they have a partner that can actually help guide them through lasting lifestyle changes. Next slide. So services that you can offer, and this is just a very brief list as a nutrition consultant, would be things like research and client education, consulting and classes. You can work as a consultant, you can offer classes and educate, whether it's in person or online, creating your own programs. You can support group and fitness challenges, be a writer, educator, instructor. I had a student who's very interested in nutrition research. So there are a lot of different avenues that you can pursue. Doing things like nutritional analysis and meal planning, which you get to do a sample of as you're a student. Behavioral change coaching, pantry makeover, grocery shopping tours, and just so many more things, corporate wellness programs. As we go through, if you enroll and you're going through the business course, we spend a lot of time with digging more into what your options are and how to pursue those. You'll learn things like how to structure your services, how to price them, how to create packages. You will complete lessons and receive handouts that help you with walking through specific options on what it is that you particularly would like to pursue and how you want to build your clientele. And again, going through options if you plan to seek employment as well. And then you also get to collaborate with your peers. So just imagine that the people who are here today, if you're all in a class together, you're going to be sharing with each other, just similar to how you did now, what your objectives are, but then helping each other as you go through the program with everyone having their own level of expertise, supporting each other, being able to get feedback. And then you also have your mentors, myself and other mentors to the program that help to guide you and support you as well. Next slide, please. So a question that we often is, how do you get started? So once you've gone through the training and you're actually ready to launch your career, how do you actually get started? And is it possible to get full-time employment through this role? So a lot of students will possibly seek employment full-time with a company, like I mentioned. They might start their own private practice. Some students will choose to work somewhere until they feel a little bit more confident branching out on their own. And then some students do a hybrid of that. And I encourage you in the business course just to brainstorm and to really experiment with what feels right for you. In the course, as you'll see on that first bullet point, you will be given a list of websites to search to create a job profile. With that job profile is where you can start to have different things come to your inbox and search for different career opportunities that might be right for you. It's important that you don't limit your search by only looking for a nutrition consultant. So this is something that you could be doing now. So if you're thinking, I want to enroll this program, here's some ideas of what I'd like to do after I receive my certification. You could actually start searching different things online and job opportunities to see what is available that might interest you. So some additional terms to search. This is a handout that's directly coming from the business course. So again, you will receive this type of information. There are other terms that you can search like holistic nutrition consultant, nutrition educator, workshop leader, in-store wellness practitioner. There is a growing demand for nutrition consultants to work in-store wellness. So jobs that things like Sprouts and other types of, Whole Foods and different places, aside from just being in those stores and giving like supplement recommendations, you also receive training, continuing education, benefits, opportunities sometimes to lead workshops and presentations. So the potential for what you can do as an NC, it continues to grow. There's also on the right side, you can see that you can go the path of being a writer or author, partnering together with dietitians. I'll go into that a little bit more later. Working in certain post-secondary education. We have some students who actually are starting, either have their own farm or are starting their own farm and are helping with building communities and helping people actually within their household. So I have a lot of students who are going a non-traditional route. One student I helped with, instead of a traditional business plan, she created a family guidebook for herself and her family, and then things that she would be growing to expand that to offer that to other families. So as you go through the course, you'll have these weekly assignments that you complete that help you to build up to a completed business plan. You'll also have a finalized resume that you can go through for job searching as well. Next slide, please. So within our role as nutrition consultants, we have what we call is the scope of practice. And that is the parameters that help us to know what we can legally do and what things are outside of our scope of practice. A big one is remembering that we are not medical professionals. Now, we do have some students who come through the program who are nurses, who work in dental health fields. So some of you may have medical credentials. So you'll just have to check with your licensing to see what's permitted. But as nutrition consultants, we are not legally able to diagnose, treat, prescribe, or manage specific health conditions. We do help with providing education and wellness on how to manage and support those, but we don't specifically, alter people's medications or talk about treating or prescribing their conditions. We always start with dietary and lifestyle recommendations. We promote food and lifestyle first. And we also try to work really closely or encourage our clients to work closely with their health practitioner. So if I'm working with a client and they tell me they have a particular health condition, I'll work with them on a diet and lifestyle plan. And I will also encourage them to take that to their medical professional for any kind of feedback, to reevaluate, the prescriptions that they may be on over time. And what that does is it empowers the client to be able to now start having these conversations rather than possibly just take the recommendations that are given. And it also creates an opportunity for you to possibly build a partnership with those medical professionals. A lot of times medical professionals are interested in offering more of a holistic approach to their client, to their patients. In this case, they would be called patients for the medical professionals, but they don't typically have the time. They may not have the training and expertise. So there are times when they're looking to partner with nutrition consultants to help provide that type of education. Okay, we'll have more examples on the next slide, please. All right, so as I mentioned, when I went through Bauman College's program, I learned a lot. I thought that I already knew a ton, which I did know some about a healthy lifestyle and what that meant, but just really starting to understand what an impact your food choices have, your lifestyle, and again, getting scientific information to know what was the quality information rather than following trends and things like that. So in order to stay within your scope of practice, we help our clients to be able to identify and reduce risk factors. So again, it's not treating the condition, but we can help them identify those risk factors and make changes. We help them with identifying their diet, lifestyle, their environment, and their behaviors and being able to make those changes. So it again provides them with the education, support, and accountability. So again, rather than a client just taking the information where they may find something online and try it for a while, they're actually getting the scientific support to be able to go through it and to be able to succeed. So as I mentioned earlier, you can also partner with healthcare practitioners to offer classes to their clients. And it is highly recommended for NCs to seek those types of partnerships as opposed to trying to apply for a job as an RD or other licenses. So we get that question quite a bit. Students will ask if they're eligible to apply for those roles. One thing that I would recommend as you're looking for, if you are someone who's looking for a job and is interested in working in a hospital setting or something like that, remember that hospitals also have roles where they're looking for health educators, where they're looking for nutrition consultants. And sometimes when you're applying for a job, be sure to see what is a requirement versus what is preferred. So for example, they might say that they prefer someone that has a certain medical license, but the requirement is having 4 years of experience in health and wellness. So just remember that you're not prohibited from applying for positions if they don't say that this medical certificate is a requirement. Also building relationships with other health and wellness professionals. I know someone mentioned that they are already a personal trainer or they're a massage therapist, a chef. Those things complement each other really well, whether that's a training that you'd like to have, or again, if you're going to partner with someone and being able to offer cross referrals. Next slide, please. Also want to mention to Terry, I had a student who recently graduated and her daughter was a personal trainer. And so they're actually building a similar practice where she's offering nutrition consulting advice and her daughter is the personal trainer. So we see that happen a lot as well. And so building a career or business after you graduate. The nice thing about Bauman College, I'm going to take some time to actually read through these slides because this is one of the things that helped me when I was determining if Bauman was a right fit for me. And I feel like this is something that sets our program apart. You do obtain actual practical skills as you're going through the program. You work with sample clients. You have food demos. You have your practicum, which I'm also the mentor for the practicum. And that is it's similar to an internship where you are teaching a 4-week wellness workshop in your community. And then you also create a business plan and resume. And so again, me coming from an accounting background, going through the nutrition program, I was able to have actual experience on my resume. Now, this was under volunteer and internship, but I had experience working with sample clients, doing the food demos, doing the practicum. So you're still building your real life skills as you're going through the program. You're also highly encouraged to seek internships and volunteer work and part-time work as well. And then again, we suggest you set up these profiles for searching, which you can do kind of later in the program. We'll guide you through that in the business course. And then when job searching, we also cover this, focusing on a traditional resume format or a skills-based if you feel like your skills necessarily don't adapt, which I believe most students have skills that do adapt. So if you're working in customer service, is something that is really relevant. There are just a lot of examples that we go through on how you have skills now that really translate into this field. And then I'll come back to that second one. So you also have lifelong support through career services. We have a career services department that helps you with, if you're setting up a job profile to search, you might want a second set of eyes to help you with that. Or you may see an open position and want help reaching out to see who to contact. So different things like that. Lastly, I'd say that it's recommended that you check with NAMP. So their legislative affairs, this link that we have here on the almost second to last bullet point, depending on what state you are in, the parameters of being a nutrition consultant can be affected depending on what state you're in. So when you check the legislative affairs on NAMP's website, it will give you some ideas to let you know what types of practices you can do within your state. And then again, through our career services department, we can help you with navigating that as well. Next slide, please. So one of the things that students go through, now say you've gone through the course or you're almost ready to graduate, and of course students feel a little bit nervous. Well, how can I actually do this? Will people take me seriously because I'm a new grad, all these things. The big thing is really building confidence, trusting in the experience that you have, the education that you've gained, and figuring out different ways to boost your confidence and put yourself out there. So some recommendations are to join professional organizations. Those can be related to nutrition and wellness, or they can just be things like, I'm a big fan of being members of organizations in your community. So like the Chamber of Commerce, different places like that where you can start to build professional relationships and get referrals. In the business course, we also have a sample list of organizations that you can join in various industries. And then ongoing access to your course material. So after you graduate, you still have access to the dashboard where you do all your course materials. You have access to myself and the other mentors and instructors. And we encourage you all to stay in touch with your classmates as well. And we have additional alumni resources. One of the things that Bauman likes to do is to really support and highlight their current students and their graduates. So we have a picture of a student here, Tarelia, who was one of my students as well. She was going through the program, but she already had a platform where she had a podcast and different things that she was doing to share her nutrition knowledge with the world. And so this is something that we have on the website called Share Your Story. So she provided information to be able to share her story through the Bauman College website, which was later turned into a blog. And then, of course, with her permission, was also advertised on our social media. And so you have a lot of different ways to get support and connection, again, just through Bauman College alone, let alone other things that will help you with engaging with outside of the school. Next slide, please. I'll say too, if you have some time, well, if you haven't already, when you go to Bauman College's website, you can check out our blog. You'll see some student stories. You'll see a lot of different resources there that can also help with making the decision or just giving you more empowerment if you do decide to enroll. All right, so this next slide, we get a lot of students that are interested in or will ask if there's a need for additional certification after they graduate. That is totally optional. Your education with Bauman, it fully qualifies you to start working in the field. But if you are interested in pursuing additional education, a lot of students will take the board exam that the NAMP or the National Association of Nutrition Professionals offers. And so then your title, once you pass that exam and receive your required credits, then you would be called board certified in holistic nutrition. Bauman College is one of the holistic programs that we partner with NAMP. So you're almost halfway there with being prepared for this exam just through your education at Bauman College. They have high standards they don't accept just every school to be eligible to sit for the exam. And then again, you can find more information on their website there. They have a very detailed frequently asked questions section around the board certification. And they're very approachable if you ever need to contact anybody there to ask questions. You also receive a discount through, as being a student, your discount if you decide to join NAMP professionally for their membership. All right, next slide. We just have a few more slides. I asked a few graduates, like, what are some things that they would want to share for prospective students coming in? What were some of their takeaways from the program? And so here, this is just within 2 months of graduating. We had a student who had already selected her business name, worked with a lawyer to incorporate the business, and had a logo created. She solidified her menu of services, which again, she already started going through that in the business course. So she solidified that and added it to her website, joined NAMP as a professional member, and took and passed the board exam. Another student was, he was specifically working with PTSD with veterans, and so he created a business model to help with nutritional support. And he contacted several veteran organizations to partner with to move forward in that regard. And then going over to the right side, as far as job offers and clients, this first student was still working with the practice clients that they had through the program and began getting referrals to new clients to work with. She created her Facebook page and started posting about her practice and wellness tips, booking consultations or discovery sessions, and then gaining referrals from networking. The other student received a full-time job offer where he was working as a part-time instructor in culinary arts. So now he coordinates the whole culinary department and works on a nutrition class tailored to culinary arts. Next slide. So asking then, did you feel prepared to start working after graduation? One student said that she felt intimidated to start working right away because the program covered so much information, but she knew that she had the background to start working with clients and had to take simple steps to start moving past her fear. The big thing is really just getting started. It can be intimidating in the beginning, but starting to work with those practice clients and then real clients afterwards, the practicum that you'll go through, those are things that students mention quite a bit are what help them to be able to move forward. So she shared that Bauman College gave her the necessary tools to be confident and to pursue job opportunities presented to her. And then the knowledge acquired in the program was vast and offered her additional education. The other students said that they have resources to help to continue deepen the knowledge. So I mentioned that you'll continue to have access to your course material. We have an official Bauman alumni group in Facebook where you can ask different industry questions, connect with people there, and then through NAMP networking as well. The students said they plan to continue to review the coursework, but feeling that working with clients is really the best way to start cementing the information. And then the depth of scientific learning, the research, the varied topics help to deepen his understanding of how what we eat impacts us, how stress, sleep, movement impact our well-being, and the program prepared him better than he expected for working with clients. He plans to continue his education and obtain a graduate degree. Next slide. So this question is around getting students feedback on if they felt like the coursework prepared them for career readiness. And so again, the practice clients that you worked with, the students said that the practice clients and case studies were their favorite part of the program. It really helped to look at all areas of the client's health and hearing what their classmates recommended. So when you work with practice clients, you will use the actual templates and forms and things like that, intake information, diet and lifestyle journals. These are things that you actually can use and implement once you graduate as well. The other student said that practice client work was helpful to set up a system once he begins to start seeing paying clients, and that it showed that no two clients are the same. With every assignment, new questions about the client will arise. Then regarding the practicum, the students said that they enjoyed the practicum portion more than anticipated. It helped them to realize how much they enjoyed teaching and sharing the information with others. It helps to decide to add future classes via Zoom to their offerings. The other students said that the practicum helped with speaking in front of people, and it prepared them to research and follow up with attendees when questions came up. Okay, and then I think the next slide is our last one here. This question, oh no, sorry, we have two more. This one is about the business course. So the business course they said was helpful because they got to work on their business plan and resume, having other people review it and critique it, helped her to get up and running as quickly as she did with her own business. She previously was a business owner as well with a dance studio. And she said when she had her last business, she didn't write out as much information. She just was winging it. She felt much better prepared for her NC practice because of doing all the work up front. Additionally, the business course teaches how to properly research jobs and how to properly word your resume. Creating the business plan is helpful because we have specific timelines. We create SMART goals on how to launch your business or whatever steps are most important to you. And then a business plan is great if you ever need funding for your business. Next slide. Okay, so this is our tips that they gave for prospective students if you're thinking about enrolling, how to be successful in the program. Stay on top of your coursework and dedicate specific time for studying. That is really key, making sure that you bookmark what days of the week, what time you're going to be working on your schoolwork, and then review each week's material before moving on to the next. Take advantage of office hours if you have questions. All mentors offer office hours where you can meet with us to go over questions about your particular situation or course material. And then this program will help to prepare you for a very rewarding career in the nutrition field. The student said that many other offerings are superficial compared to what you learn at Bauman, and it's well worth your time and effort. This program can be just for yourself, as it was for this particular student, but after a couple of classes, they found out that they wanted to make sure that more people received this information about the importance of proper nutrition for a healthy life.